Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning into another Supatease video, and in this one, we're going to be covering the Fury Warrior in the War Within and everything that is going to be offered to you and what you could be possibly missing out on. Now, if you want to make sure that you're staying up to date with news related to World of Warcraft and the War Within, then make sure to smash that subscribe button. Your support is greatly appreciated. Now, one of the major additions to all of the classes in the War Within is the hero talent trees. Now, for Fury Warrior, you're going to have the choice between Mountain Thane and Slayer. At first, I was skeptical of the Mountain Thane. Now, this one is based off of Warcraft 3, and it's based around Thunderclap, which is not typically an ability that Fury Warriors really think highly of or really think of at all, honestly. But with the passives and abilities that are layered into this, with the visuals that come along with it, it actually feels very satisfying to press when you're attacking a dummy. You can see as it radiates thunder and lightning onto its target, it does massive damage, and it basically functions as whirlwind, giving you access to cleave on your single target abilities. So it fits smoothly into the rotation for Fury Warrior. It's still just a smashing good time in terms of just mowing down opponents. I think that this could be really good in battleground situations in PvP when you're able to stack up multiple enemies and cleave them down at the same time. I also think in Mythic Plus, this is going to feel just really good in general. Anytime there's AoE like this, you're going to be feeling really awesome. You're going to get powered up. You got recklessness. You've got talents that make you bigger during your avatar. Now, I kind of do wish that on the avatar window, honestly, you were even bigger visually. I really think you can't go too big in this type of situation. I like if you're going as big as the dwarf in Warcraft 3, I think that would be highly entertaining for Fury Warrior. I would absolutely love that. That's one thing that I would say right now. Also, your Thunderclap is enhanced while you're an avatar. You can see it as it radiates even more lightning and more cleave. It's basically looking like it's going to replace Whirlwind in your rotation. So if you're worried about keybind bloat, you're not going to have to worry about that. It's just going to fit smoothly in that sense. And it actually worked out a lot better than I had first anticipated with the Mountain Thane. So definitely would recommend this one if you're interested in trying it. The next one is the Slayer. Now, the Slayer is a hero talent tree that is much more focused on single target. It's much more focused on execute and uptime. It's going to give you access to things like charging out of roots. So if you're playing PvP by yourself and you don't got a lot of healers, you're worried about not getting dispelled out of stuff, you can just charge out of your own roots. You get a lot of self-sustain from your executes healing on sudden death. You're going to have abilities that proc more abilities. So this is much more single target oriented. You're also going to be able to proc blade storms and use more abilities during Bladestorm like Pummel and Stormbolt without having to cancel them. This one is really fun for just tunneling down and training a single target. And also just, of course, speaking about Bladestorm, Fury Warrior has Bladestorm again. And it also has access to Arms Warrior talents like Hurricane, which ramp up your strength towards the end of Bladestorm, which can give you a huge amount of damage at the end of it. You can also talent into getting 2 Bladestorms. So if you want more spin to win, you can get even more spin to win. Also just for crowd control avoidance, if you're somebody that gets frustrated by CC, I think playing Slayer, proccing Bladestorms, running double Bladestorm is going to be a great way to avoid those types of situations. So let's just show you what the Slayer can do here. It's not as visually as impressive as the Mountain Thane, just off the first rip. I don't really notice it as much visually, but you'll just notice stacks coming up, your execute doing a lot more damage, and you just maintaining a lot of uptime as opposed to the other build, basically. But it's going to be probably a little bit less AoE, I would imagine, after they've balanced it, unless they're intending to make them exactly equal in those situations. The way that I feel a lot of hero talents are going is that some are focused more around AoE situations, and other ones are focused more around single target situations. So this one will probably be better for uptime and trying to like isolate a target, train them down into the ground. So if you want more of like an assassin single target, I think the Slayer is going to be really good for that. Whereas the Mountain Thane is just going to be good for just smashing and radiating massive amounts of AoE damage coming through. But I really love the Hurricane and getting that strength buff when you come out of a Bladestorm. That mechanic just feels really good in general. So I'm very happy that Bladestorm has returned to Fury Warrior, that they're able to access tools that empower it and enhance it. I'm really hoping that we can get like a proc Bladestorm here while I'm attacking the training dummy. So I'm just going to spam Bloodthirst, I guess. There we go. We got a proc Bladestorm. So remember when Demon Hunters used to be able to Blade Dance and dodge spells? Like another proc Bladestorm. And also, if you run talents like Storm and Destruction, it's going to reduce the cooldown of our Bladestorm. And it makes our Bladestorm snare by 70%. So when we're procking these Bladestorms, we're putting 70% snares on the target. So it's really fun. I really think adding Bladestorm back to the kit has added something, a layer to Fury Warrior that it was missing. I think the visuals of Mountain Thane are really awesome, actually. After being skeptical of it. And the Slayer talent tree functionally, while it's not visually that awesome, I think maybe more could be added visually to this one. Some of the hero talents in general, just viscerally and functionally, the way that it plays is really awesome. We are seeing a rework to the baseline talent tree as well. You're going to notice that Shockwave is more accessible. It's towards the middle of the tree. A lot of your utility like Intervene and Stormbolt are more intermingled. So if you want to go full Zug, you can actually entirely opt out of mobility and defense and utility and just go full Zug for full damage. Or if you want to mix and incorporate some of that, you have the option to. I think that the reorganization of this talent tree is actually really good so far. You can still get access to a lot of the competitive options in terms of your talent tree and your build, while now having the option to flex between how many keybinds you want more so. Maybe your situation where Intervene, you don't feel like you're getting a lot of value, you don't really care, you just want to Zug. You don't have to go for that as much. You can still get access to everything that you need, basically, in any given situation. So I would say that for Fury Warrior in the War Within, it's absolute a W. I don't think you're going to go wrong with this one. I think if anything, you're probably going to feel like you're missing out. You are going to be losing the Annihilator talent, though, on the baseline tree. So if you're somebody who liked that really, really, really low keybind density gameplay, you're not going to have access to the Annihilator. They traded that off by giving you back Bladestorm. So I think that's going to be more than a fair trade. And honestly, the Annihilator build was literally smashing one button. Whereas Fury Warrior now, it's still not like overly complex, even having lost that. You just have access to more tools and options, which are making it look really amazing. I'm actually really excited for it. Which spec are you looking most excited for? And which spec do you think that I should cover in the next video? If you like this type of in-depth, detailed coverage, bringing these to you, then I am down to keep pumping these videos out to you, give you some reviews, what I think of them, what are moving forward, what's looking the most appealing, what's looking like it needs a little bit of work, a little bit of tune-up, a little bit of tweaks, because obviously these are the early stages of alpha. I think that the biggest and most important factors of this stage is kind of feel. Right now, I'd say they hit Mountain Thane really good on the head, but I want to be massive when I pop Avatar, dude. I want my character to shout for Cosmodon, and I just go absolutely huge with the Mountain Thane. I do not think you can overblow how big you can make this, because it's such a huge fantasy in role-playing environments for the guy that transforms into a giant. I want that fantasy. I want that fantasy so bad. Please give me that fantasy when I pop Avatar. Like, double this, triple the size, make me massive during Mountain Thane. And then Slayer, I think maybe bringing like more animation towards execute could be something to do, just because it doesn't really visually change too much compared to the current Dragonflight Warrior. I think adding just a couple more visuals could definitely just spice it up to make it feel a little bit more flavorful, even though it's a great talent tree functionally. And so those are the advantages, the pros, the cons. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Smash the subscribe button. Thank you very much for the support, and I will see you in the next one.